Hey, Big Little Lies fans. This is Jen, your fellow Big Little Lies fan. And, I just finished episode 6 of season 2. And, I've really been thinking about this season. And I think a lot of people who are fans have been grappling with what the hell has been going on here. Um, I personally feel while there were moments and probably one or two episodes so far that knocked it out of the park, it just really felt like disjointed and choppy. And I think that a few of us who really love the show have noticed that and have read about. There have been some production and post production editing issues with the show. Um, and I also have read that there will be no season 3 because Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman are both booked beyond booked. So there just isn't any time to continue a third season. So we're heading in a couple of days to the finale. And I really am pulling for this show to finish it strong and to close out any of these gaps that they have created. And so my predictions, and I have two of them, if they were to follow this, to me, would satisfy me watching this and investing my time. So I'm going to share them with you. And at the end of the video, would love to hear back and see what your predictions are as we head in to the finale in a couple of days. So my first prediction would be around Bonnie. Um, Bonnie's been prevalent in this season, and rightfully so. And there's just been a lot of focus on her conscience, and how she's grappled with her life now after she's taken Perry's life. And we all know that she did not do this intentionally. She saw something, she saw abuse, and because of her childhood, she just relived it all over again. And she just had that superhuman strength, and she wanted to help her friend, and she pushed hard and knocked Perry off. But with that, her conscience has been killing her and her family for this whole season. And so I almost feel like the way this could end is Celeste gets her kids. We really don't give a shit about Renata. She'll make money again, so who cares that she's broke? Whether she stays with Gordon or not, I really don't care. She's been a great character this season, but I don't really care to necessarily have to close a loop with her. Madeline and Ed, I really don't care about either. They'll either make it work or they won't. But Bonnie, I worry about. Celeste, I worry about. And Jane, I worry about. And so the way I kind of see this is, let's say we end with the court scenes and Celeste gets her children. Mary Louise goes to hell, back where she belongs. And they're all back on that beach like they were at the end of season 1. And let's say this time, Jane and Ziggy are in the water swimming and doing their surfing, which they have been learning and doing a lot of this season. And Bonnie's even been there with them on the beach while they were surfing. And honestly, with all the premonitions between Bonnie and her mother about water and drowning, and even Bonnie's face at some point showing up as being under the water drowning, what if a wave hits Jane or her son and they are drowning and Bonnie jumps in that water to save one of them? That would be an amazing end. And if somehow she saved Jane or Ziggy, and yet she lost her life, as sad as that would be, I feel like in her conscience would be at peace, because while she took a life with Perry, even by accident, she took a life, she has now saved a life. And so I feel like that, as sad as it again would be a really good ending, and we wouldn't need season 3. The other prediction which would be a good ending in a way to me, is if we ended up back at the end of season 1 and we're at the gravesite. And the reason I say this is because Shailene Woodley was on Jimmy Kimmel last night, and she mentioned something about HBO allowing her to give a spoiler. And the spoiler was that they were all, the beginning of episode 7, which is the finale, will have them all around Perry's grave, and Perry's not there. Perry's not in the grave. And that to me is just dumb and silly, because we knew that he died, right? We saw that, we heard about the coroner's report. He died. His head split open. So why would we start with that if that's the truth? Maybe the whole season 2 is a dream sequence. And it's Bonnie's sequence. And they are going through this interrogation stuff, and she's probably sitting there saying, should I or shouldn't I confess? Regardless of what Madeline said. And maybe she was thinking out what would happen if I didn't confess. And maybe that's what this whole season 2 is. And again, we end up with Celeste and Mary Louise in court. Celeste probably brings out all the stuff that happened with Perry's brother, which we really don't know yet, but I'm sure she has something in her back pocket, which will show Celeste as an unfit guardian. Celeste will get her kids, but it'll all end. Renata will still have her money. Ed will have never found out about Madeline's, affair. Jane will be happy because Perry's passed on and she can move on with her life. And all that really is again left is Bonnie. So if Bonnie confesses, her conscience is clear, and again, we've finished the episode, finished the season, and we can actually finish this whole show, and it makes sense. So anyway, that's my predictions. Can't wait till Sunday. Thanks.